There's a lot of industry news coming out of the Middle East, and our Middle East correspondent Agnes Alhelu has been covering it all, more specifically and recently from the Dubai Air Show. She joins us now. Agnes, welcome.
Thank you.
Lots of news out of that show. One of them is with the American company Beechcraft. They sold their AT6 Wolverine to its first international customer. Tell us about that.
Well, exactly. Textron has got its first international customer, specifically Thai Air Force for the Wolverine 86 Beechcraft, which is a light attack aircraft. And the contract is $143 million worth. The Beechcraft was shared at the Dubai Air Show, and it flew all the way from the United States to Dubai, passing through 11 countries and for 33 flight hours. So it shared there, and it got its first foreign customer.
Is another customer expected beyond Thailand, another international customer?
It has got some interest, especially in the Middle East. However, no contract was sealed yet.
Some other news coming out of it was the Al Tariq bomb from the United Arab Emirates. What's new with them?
Exactly. Al Tariq is a subsidiary of Edge Conglomerate, which is the UAE conglomerate in which most defense companies within the country are a part of. Al Tariq has integrated a kit, which is a long-range guided precision kit for its MK-83 bomb, and it made it get the longest range of its kind worldwide. As the company said, it is 120-kilometer range, which is a big range regarding this specific precision munition range.
Did any customers specifically ask for the 120 kilometers?
No, not yet, but they are making or they are upgrading their own missiles or missile systems. Al Tariq has been known for Al Tariq munitions and missiles, and also Edge had many other announcements during the show. For instance, Adasi, which is an Edge subsidiary, had unveiled two drones, which is the QX5 and the QX6, to add them to the family of QX, which were originally loitering munitions. QX5 is for ISR missions, and QS6 is for cargo missions.
There's a lot of technology coming out of the United Arab Emirates, and partly because they own the Edge Group, which is a conglomerate that owns Al Tariq. One part of that is developing swarm drones.
Exactly. Defense News spoke with the CEO of Edge Group, Faisal Al-Binai, and he disclosed that in 2023, at UMIX 2023, the company, or Adasi in particular, will unveil swarming drone capabilities, which is the first of its kind in an Arab country. These capabilities will need advanced algorithm, and in the Middle East, other than Israel and Turkey, there's no Arab country who has them. So this is a big advantage for an Arab country. Also, he disclosed that they are working on 3D printing experiments on most of the systems they have. They are testing UAV bodies to be 3D printed. And he spoke also about exports of the company. Actually, Edge had its fair share of announcements during the show, and they had more than 20 international transactions already done for capabilities and products completely made within the company without joint ventures.
So at these shows, you see a lot of military aircraft, but commercial aircraft made a little bit of a splash.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it's not so common that you can see a commercial helicopter turned into a military helicopter. However, it seems that the COVID-19 pandemic had hit the aerospace sector in more than one aspect. Walking down the static display area at Dubai Air Show, I've noticed that there is a Bell 407 helicopter which is a commercial helicopter usually, that didn't look at all like a commercial helicopter. It's paint, and also it was armed. So I went to Bell and asked them about this aircraft in particular, and I got to know that the company, with many other companies in the post-pandemic era, they are militarizing commercial helicopters to be used because the countries are asking for cheaper helicopters, and also they are asking to get these helicopters for specific missions like attack missions or training missions quickly. So with this, they get the approval of the DOD and the MOD very quickly to sell the commercial helicopter. And then after getting the approval for the arms themselves, which have been exported to the countries in particular, they get a very quick approval to sell this helicopter and its armed version to the country. So they cut the time span through which this helicopter is delivered to the country to maybe half or something like this. It's very, very quick.
That's some silver lining in the pandemic. I'm actually surprised that nobody thought of that beforehand. Agnes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Lots of movement despite the pandemic. Now for defense dollars. Turkey's largest defense company has signed a deal with 2 Ukrainian businesses to share upgrade work for the Ukrainian-made Mi-8 helicopter. Military electronics specialist Aselsan will work with Ukraine's Motorsych and Ukroboronprom to perform electro-optical and missile upgrades on the Mi-8s. The deal was signed during the Saha Expo, a defense and aerospace event that was held in November in Istanbul. Under the plan, Aselsan will outfit the Mi-8s with either its common aperture targeting system or an electro-optical system that will enable the aircraft to have laser targeting capabilities. An official with Aselsan said this will involve the inventory of several militaries. And now in Africa. Niger has become the first foreign customer of the Hercules trainer aircraft from Turkish Aerospace Industries. Turkish Directorate of Communications made the announcement on November 19th. Officials have not disclosed the quantity and variants associated with that order. An Italian Air Force F-35B landed on the Italian aircraft carrier Cavour. It joined a Navy F-35B. The B model is a short and vertical takeoff version of the F-35. The milestone took place on November 21st in the Mediterranean Sea, and it signals the long-awaited start of joint activities between the 2 Italian services. The Italian Navy has 3 of 15 F-35Bs due to be delivered. The country's Air Force is taking delivery of 60 F-35As, which require a runway. It also received the first of 15 of its own B models. Italy plans to deploy those planes in missions that require jets to fly from short runways. Britain's Royal Air Force took a landmark step towards slashing carbon emissions from its aircraft. On November 17th, it completed the world's first flight using 100% synthetic fuel, together with its commercial partner, Zero Petroleum. Guinness World Records logged Royal Air Force test pilot Group Captain Peter Hackett as a world first for an aircraft using only synthetic fuel. That's all part of the Royal Air Force's goal to reach net zero by 2040, and it plans to have its first net zero emissions airbase by 2025. And that's it for defense dollars. Let's get a look at conflict news from around the world. The Islamic State killed 5 Kurdish fighters in northern Iraq on Saturday. The Kurdish state news agency Rudaw reported on Sunday that the Peshmerga fighters were killed in the Garmian district in northern Iraq. Peshmerga commander Mahmoud Sangawi condemned the attack and criticized the Iraqi army for the security gap in the area. He told reporters that his troops were caught off guard by IS fighters who rode in on motorcycles and shot from different directions to draw out guards and confuse them. Militants remain active through sleeper cells in many areas, especially across a band of territory in the north under dispute between federal Iraq and the semi-autonomous Kurdistan regional government. The US-led coalition to defeat the Islamic State announced the end of its combat mission and said troops will withdraw from Iraq by the end of December. American advisors will remain to continue to train Iraqi forces. The Russian Ministry of Defense says it has successfully test-fired a hypersonic missile in the White Sea. The Navy launched the Zircon cruise missile from the frigate Admiral Gorshkov, and the ministry says it hit a practice target 400 kilometers away. This is the latest in a series of launches of the Zircon, which is set to enter service next year. President Vladimir Putin has said the Zircon is capable of flying at 9 times the speed of sound and has a range of 1,000 kilometers, which is about 620 miles. Russia intends to arm cruisers, frigates, and submarines with a hypersonic weapon, and the country has made the development of hypersonic weapons a priority. In staying on Russia, the country recently caught the eye of NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, who raised concerns that Russia has amassed heavy artillery and some 10,000 troops on its border with Ukraine. In a news conference in Riga, Latvia on Monday, Stoltenberg spoke up against the buildup.
Any future Russian aggression against Ukraine would come at a high price. and have serious political and economic consequences for Russia. Russia must show transparency, reduce tensions, and de-escalate.
In recent weeks, Ukrainian and Western officials have expressed concern that a Russian military buildup near Ukraine could signal plans by Moscow to invade its ex-Soviet neighbor. The Kremlin insists that it has no such intentions and has accused Ukraine and its Western backers of making claims to cover up their own allegedly aggressive designs. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed that his country's intelligence service has uncovered plans for a Russia-backed coup. The Russian government denied the allegations. And that wraps up our global headlines for this week. When we come back, an update on changes to one of the most powerful war memorials in Washington. And later, I'll look at some new battlefield tech.